Greetings, Masandawana. We're back with yet another installment of the Yellow Corner. And this time we bring you a game week 18 as we travel to the south of Johannesburg to face Kaizer Chiefs in a clash that many might deem as the has-beens versus the past, the present, and the future of South African football, Mamelodi Sundowns. And today I have a special guest in Maestro. Maestro, how are you?
I'm good, and my brother. First one of the year.
First one of the year and a big one for you, ne?
Yeah, a big one. We are facing the beast. As Mangete alluded, Kaizer Chiefs is a beast.
a toothless beast at the moment, eh?
Hey, but you know this beast, when they hear Mamelodi Sundowns, it's like they're playing for contracts or something.
Yeah, man. Without wasting time, let's get on to it, Maestro. Maestro, do you think Chiefs will ever go back to their glory days?
Football is a funny cycle. As people always say that, what we are going through as Mamelodi Sundowns, you must enjoy it while it lasts because you never know when it's gonna end. But what's happening at Chiefs currently, it does not look like they would go back. But in football, you never know. You never know, man.
Yeah, no, true. Football is a funny old sport, man. We went the same number of years like them without winning any trophies. So, yeah, it's a very funny old sport. But I hope and pray, Hore, it stays like this for as long as I'm alive. I do not want to see them celebrating anything anytime soon.
When you are a true Sundowns fan, when they ask you, Hore, what do you hate in life in general, the first thing you must say is Kaizer Chiefs. That's the first thing as a true Sundowns fan you must say. As someone once said, Uti, if Chiefs was in an accident, you're gonna cry for the car, not the Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah, man. In their last match, they faced Amazulu and they lost 4-0. How damaging was that loss? More so the margin they lost by. How damaging? Because for me, I feel like that proper messed up their confidence. I think their confidence is now at an all-time low because of the result. I think if they had lost 1-0 or 2-1 or 2-0, Arthur would easily pick the boys up, But 4-0, man, is damaging. And this is the second time this season they've lost by the same margin.
They've lost like 2 games in a row. It started on their bad day, West Park against Kukune, and then they play Amazulu and they lose 4-0. I think it was one of those shockers. Maybe one would say they were thinking about Sundowns, but to lose 4-0, you are right. It's gonna be tough, especially when you're playing against a team that is on cloud 9, But let's see, man. As they always say, games like this, you don't win them on the pitch. It's all about how mentally prepared you are.
True, man. And they lost to a not so good Amazulu side, man. Yes, the players are good, but the football that they've been playing recently, and even on the day, Amazulu were not wow. There was nothing wow about Amazulu on the day. But yeah, Arthur is facing a conundrum, Maestro. Does he field the players that he's been fielding who a majority of have let him down in recent weeks, or does he change the team and field players who've not been playing, but they playing Sundowns? What do you think he will do? Because at halftime in the Amazulu game, I saw Tower immediately when the whistle went. Tower went into the field to warm up as if he was someone they're going to bring on. So I thought they did bring on Tower last week. Do you think Arthur will continue with the players that he's been playing or make a few changes in this big clash?
To be honest, I expect him to go with the more experienced players. As you saw, Svitlotante was not available against Amazulu and Kikendoli. I'm expecting those two to start against us. But when you play against this, I think this is one of the toughest fixtures that Atazwan will have, because you don't know if you go with the experienced lineup or you continue with the young ones, because the mentality of the team currently, I think that they're very, very down. So it's one of those, man. it's one of those who do best at training this week. I think are the ones who are gonna start for him.
I think he would have loved to have had a midweek game before facing Sundowns, maybe get a positive result midweek and then at least the morale in camp changes, going into this game. Maestro, how many Chiefs players get into the Sundowns starting 11? Are there any Chiefs players who can get into the Sundowns starting 11?
Man, currently,
Yes.
None. To be honest with you, none. If we're speaking about currently, maybe if you're gonna say past form, maybe you will say Kick and Dolly. But currently, man, I don't. No one comes to mind.
That's true, man.
Absolutely no one.
Yeah. Linda Fonna, I looked at both teams as recent starting 11 and like I no one. I love that boy Sheen, but he's not getting into the Sundowns starting 11. At best, he'll make the match day squad. Let's talk about
not even the matchday squad, man. No.
You reckon they won't
no,
even
man.
get into the matchday squad?
No, man. The Sundowns team is hard to break, man. It's hard to break in. I mean, when you look at our bench, you've got Lesedi Kapinga. I don't think that boy has reached that quality. I know that is one hell of a footballer. No, I also see him as one player who can replace Themba Zwane in 5 years' time. But currently, no, man. You'll have to sit in the stands, take video of Sundowns fans singing. That's where he will belong currently.
Someone, I think it's Theo. Theo says the boy must sign a pre-contract next year, January. I'm not sure if his contract ends at the end of next season.
Yeah.
So Theo says he must sign a pre-contract and become a millionaire and win trophies. But yeah, moving on. Let's talk about Chiefs' approach in this match when I'm Maestro. I expect Chiefs to sit back, not play a low block, but to sit back and box smart. I don't think Arthur will be brave enough, even his players will be brave enough to go like maybe a boxing match or a basketball match, end-to-end match with Sundowns, And what I've picked up Cat Chiefs in their recent games is that when the score is still 0-0, they do not press at all. They do not press. They just close the passing lanes and move and shift with where with the ball, where the ball is. And because of how our fullbacks play, at times they both bomb forward or at times they both invert. I think this is the game where he's going to place Hoda and Dupree in his attack on both on either side. To look into getting behind us that transition because Hoda is really really fast. So I think because Mahlatsi wants to play the ball. He won't run behind you. He enjoys the ball more. So I think Arthur will see strengths achieves in pace and try and get behind us using pace early. And I think they're going to use Mshini. I love that boy. I think he's a special talent. That boy, he's very good with getting in between spaces. But not only that, he's not only dangerous with the ball at feet. There's something that I'm not sure if this is a skill that he's always had or it's something that he's bringing into his game where he drags players out of position, where he makes dummy ramps and then midfielders or defenders follow him and then he makes space for his teammates. I expect him to do that. The other thing that Chiefs have done in their games that I've watched is that they overload, they build up Haholokamo left and overload their left. And then once they isolate Team Kamo left, they switch ball to the right where Frosler would be making a run and then he'd play a cross. So I think that's the approach that they will use going into this game. How do you think they will approach the game, Maestro?
I think, man, when you look at this Chiefs side in the top eight, they are the team that have considered most goals out of all the teams in the top eight. They've considered 20 goals. And you are right, man. This is one game. And, also you must keep in mind the field of FNB, the length of it. I also think that the only way they could hurt us is through speed. And, Coach Raleigh midweek spoke about what SuperSport did that gave us problems. He spoke about having a left footer on the right and a right footer on the left, which I think Atazwane might use that. For me, my biggest worry will be Mudiva defensively. Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna face Hota or Dolly, but if you look at the recent times when we played against Pirate, the left footer like Seleng gave him a problem. A left footer like Mayo against Cape Town City gave him a problem. So, Chiefs' only chance to play us it's on speed, because obviously in the midfield they don't match us. So I also expect them to approach the game that they did the last time we faced them at FNB. It was like you said, it was not a low block, but it was like a defensive approach, but with more speed up front. So I'm expecting the same approach from them.
True, yeah, and I expect that. And like you said, I think they will target that side, Yamudiva, because I don't think any of their wingers or wide forwards would be brave enough to take on Kuliso. You're not gonna beat Kuliso. Even if you quick, he's gonna intercept the ball and move forward with it. Let's move to our team, Maestro. Let's talk about the Master Chef Mbule. How far do you think Mbule is from starting? And your thoughts on what Coach Rulani said about him seeing him as a six?
Funny enough, speaking of Mbule, he's in my starting 11.
Same here.
He's in my starting. He's in my starting 11. I mean, with the minutes he's gotten, man, I feel like he has proven his worth. His worth of a starter. But we don't know what's the plan behind the scene. But also, what I've loved from him in the past games is the way he presses. I've never seen Mbule press the way he does. You look at the second goal we scored against Pirates. It was through him. If he didn't press team, we wouldn't get that second goal. And also the way Coach Rani spoke about him, I think he has all the elements of being a six, But also you look at the type of six that the Womokwena is, the speed that he brings. I think that's where Mbule might be lacking, for me personally. But to be honest, for me, he might start this weekend.
I also have him starting. I think he deserves a start, and this will do his confidence a world of good. In terms of him being a six, when Coach Gulani said that, I was like, but immediately I thought, no, man, you know what? Football is taking a different direction. It's getting to a point where you won't have the piano carriers in your team, where you have everyone in your team having a note in that piano, because you look at how Sundowns plays. In most of our games, we are in control of, we dominate possession. Ne? So what's the use of having a tractor that will do the dirty job, but and not offer you anything offensively? So I think football is transitioning into that. I don't know what word to use, but into that phase, for a lack of a better word. 10 years ago, if you told me if or a six needs to have more offensive strength than defensive, I would have called you crazy. But I think football is headed there. Your defenders are ball players now. Your goalkeepers are ball players now. So Tabayele, the hard worker, slowly but surely, yeah, more so like for Team A, Etwana Linto, the Sundowns, like I said, that has a possession most of the time. Maestro, will failing to beat Chiefs, if Chiefs get something out of this game, will it be a draw or 3 points, will that be an upset?
This game, man, the Chiefs game, Sundowns game, it's difficult to predict. But Chiefs is coming into this game as an underdog. So for us, we have to be at our level best. The most important thing that we don't have to do, especially our players, is look down on this fixture, because once you look down on this fixture, hey, you'll see bad things, So me personally, I'm expecting a win. I'm expecting a win, but I wouldn't say it will be as easy as we think it would be. I'm expecting Chiefs to bring their A game, and I'm expecting us to bring our A game. So I'm expecting a win, man.
I'm also expecting a win, but I'm leaving room for disappointment because I've seen us in the past face Chiefs. I remember this one time we played them on a Tuesday when Steve was still their coach. We were hot. That was in Gezana's first match at pro level, and he
I
had
remember
started
it.
the match. And Steve, I think, played a 3-5-2, if I'm not mistaken, in that. And I just couldn't believe we lost to that Chiefs team, So I've seen it in the past where we go into matches really on top form and they're struggling and then they get something. So their pride is at stake. Remember that season when they were the only team to beat us? They celebrated that as if they had won a trophy. So this might be their only trophy this season, beating Sundowns. Hey? So I'm honestly,
But
cautious. Yeah.
one thing, to be honest with you, I fear Chiefs at Loftus, At Loftus, they always have got something for us, but at FNB, man. That's the thing. I'm confident. If it was at Loftus, yeah, I will be a bit calculative. But FNB Stadium, man, it's either we get a win or draw.
With
But
that,
I'm expecting a win.
with that confidence, Maestro, tell me, how do we beat Chiefs on Saturday?
I think the most important thing will be our rest defense. If we're gonna have a perfect rest defense, and also, man, we are playing Kaizer Chiefs. Those silly fouls in the box, please be careful because they've received the most penalties this season. So we must be very, very careful in the box because man, this team, when it comes to penalties, they're very good, man. And also, what's gonna be important is how we are gonna press them up front, because when you look at their defense, have got a lot of mistakes when pressing on them. So I think our rest defense and the way we are gonna press them up front, it's gonna be our biggest strength this weekend.
Fully agree with you. I also have those points. I think we need to play better than we've played in our last two games. I'm also Game Year Super Sport because Game Year Cheap, I didn't really get to watch game properly. But the Super Sport game, I felt like we're not in control the way I love Sundowns to be in control of the game, the way how we've always been in control, the way we dictate matters. So I think we need to improve our performance in this game. And then in the Game Year Super Sport, in the first half, I picked up Debza was a bit far from the two center backs early in the game. And it affected our build-up play in terms of progressing the ball from one department to the other. He was at times so close to the center circle, even when we were building up. And it really puzzled me because in two instances where we were able to build a center and move with the ball from the middle, it was Neo dropping deep and fetching the ball and moving with it, and then Allende. So I felt Debza was a bit far from the what do you call this, the middle field. I'm not sure if it had to do with, remember the ball he gave away early in the game and then Maseko almost scored, I'm not sure if it had to do with that. And like you said, we need to set traps center back make them think they have enough time to play and press them. I think centrally in the middle of the park, as well as their central defense, I think that's where they are weak. I think they miss Bloom a lot because that boy can see danger. That boy has energy. So he can progress with the ball. So I think they miss him. The cover that he brings, he's good at helping the team attack, but he's exceptional with his defensive
Yeah.
duties. I think we need to score early, Maestro. I think an early goal, it kills them because right now their confidence is their soft underbelly. So once they concede, I think it will be hard for them to pick themselves to get back into the game. So an early goal, Ebola confidence and then we're able to dictate matters for the rest of the game. Let's get to the exciting part. I already know one player that's on your starting lineup. Give me your starting 11.
Yeah, man, my starting 11, it will be, I'm playing a 4-3-3, 4-3-3, goalkeeper. It has to be currently the best goalkeeper in the PSL. Ronald Williams. At right back, I have Modau. And then I have Roshin Deruk. And then I have Mtobi Mvala, who has been exceptional, man. I have to give it up. I've been one of the people who've been hard on him, man. Shout out to Mvala, keep it up, man. And then I have Mudiba. And then I'll have Tebza as a 6, and then Alende and Mbule as my 2 8s. And then my front three, it will be Zwane, Neo Maema, and Keishas.
It's a pity I can't show you my lineup, but because it won't be clear, I will send you a picture
Yeah.
when we're done shooting. I have the same lineup in a 4-4-2 diamond. I'm playing Master Chef as one of my 8s, and then I'm playing Neo at the tip of the diamond.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I have Shika and Meilula because I think there's something there. I think there's telepathy between Bona Bali to Shika. I think Shika is enjoying playing with this boy, and this boy is also enjoying playing with Shika. And I think I've realized something about Shika recently. This armband, Shika comes across as a player who's quiet. He won't lead by, the captain. They lead, they shout, they. Well, Shika doesn't come across as that. He comes across as a Steven Gerrard in his first autobiography. He mentioned already he was not like that as a player. And he led through what you call this performances. He knew he needs to up his game, and then everyone does that. And I think that's what has happened with Shika with that armband. So yeah, that's the team that I'm going with. And yeah, do you want to add something before you give me your predictions?
Speaking about Tambazwane, you go back and look at all our best players in recent seasons. You go back to Kamapiliad, he had to have a combination with Zwane. You look at Pesitau, you look at who's this? Peter Shalulile. You look at Noma Ema last season, his combination with Zwane. So, if you want to be a superstar in this Sundowns team, you have to, Zwane is also out he has to shake you and see are you the right person. So yeah, he's one of those players, and I'm happy that his performance has improved ever since he got the armband, because you remember when the season started, we felt as if that armband is too big for him. And Coach Rulani once said that players at Sundowns look at Tambazwane as that guy in the dressing room. So he leads with performance. He's a very, very influential player in our team.
True. This thing here that you're saying, or the relationships that he's built with different players. I will never forget this game when we beat Chiefs 3-0 in the first game of the season 2-3 seasons ago. I actually think we're playing this formation with him at the tip, and then with Kemet as well as Shalulile. Excuse me.
Yeah, I remember that game.
In that game, there was an instance where we were on attack, and Shaluli was still new in the team, and I felt Zwane doesn't trust this guy as yet. He could have easily played a pass for Shaluli, but he didn't in that game, and I was like, okay, he still doesn't trust Shaluli, but once he trusts you, he involves, he plays with you a lot. So yeah, man. Predictions?
Oh, I hope we keep a clean sheet, man. I will say 3-0. 3-0 will be the score, and expect the Gaston Sereno goal from the bench. If there's one thing that we haven't mentioned is Sereno loves big games. Give Sereno a big game and you'll see his best. So I'm expecting a 3-0 scoreline with Cassius, Maema scoring, and Sereno scoring from the bench. Yours?
I'm going to say 2-1. I have a feeling they will score. And in every game, I predict this boy to score Cassius. So I'll go for Cassius. They struggle a lot with the set piece, the corner kick. Amazulu scored 2 from against them. So I will go for Mvala a goal as well. So yeah, 2-1 to Sundowns. And yeah, all the best of luck to the boys. This game, guys, it forget about 3 points. 3 points means nothing in this game. Pride is more important than 3 points. So you need to beat these guys. But you don't kick a man when he's down. Ne? But in this instance, we're not kicking this man. We are fucking killing this man. Excuse my French, but you killing this man. So no pressure, but you need to win this game for our breaking rights. Maestro, thank you very much for joining me, man. I'm sure you've got a huge following. Every time you do one of these with us, the comments are really, really positive, and I'm sure people will like this. And yeah, I'm sure we'll have you soon again. Thank you, Maestro.
Yeah, man, and to the Yellow Nation, man, please fill up that FNB stadium. Like Coach Mangoba once said last season, let's talk over the calabash, guys. Let's take it over now. It's time.
Sharp, Maestro. Sharp, Masanda.
Sure, Brati.